I believe we're not joined by Jason Unruhe, who is joining us live now from Ontario, and he is a political analyst. Jason, thanks so much for joining us here on Press TV. What do you make, Jason, of the strides that Iran has been able to make vis-a-vis its nuclear energy program, despite, of course, all the pressure on it regarding that?
I think this is a tremendous step forward. I mean, this speaks very much to the spirit of the Iranian people and what it is that they can accomplish if they put their minds to it. The United States has spent a great deal of time trying to stifle the development of many countries, but those who have remained united, those who have remained strong, have managed to succeed despite the sabotage efforts of the United States. I am in this situation reminded of Cuba and the achievements that it has made, regardless of the pressures that have been placed upon it. I mean, nuclear technology is something that is absolutely needed for the future. This is something that you absolutely cannot deny. Whole societies require this kind of nuclear technology in order to advance in all kinds of fields. Now, this is not just energy, but in medicine and other fields as well. I mean, nobody has a right to a monopoly over such forms of energy, and nobody has the right to a monopoly over such kinds of medical achievements. I mean, just producing the world's first atomic battery is a significant accomplishment in itself, which made the richest nations in the world themselves have also not done, have not accomplished through their own efforts. So this speaks very much to Iran's ability to not only achieve in this environment, but to go beyond expectations and even to exceed those of the wealthier countries which hoard the world's resources. It shows that they're able to do more with less, which speaks tremendously to the ingenuity of the of people in the nuclear field.
Jason, obviously, even at the beginning of the entire nuclear issue and the sanctions that were brought onto the country, Iran's insisted from day one that it has never sought nuclear weapons, that it has always just wanted a peaceful program, and it keeps proving that on a yearly basis. But then we keep hearing that rhetoric out of Iran's adversaries that no, Iran is not looking for just peaceful uses of nuclear energy. Considering there haven't ever brought forth proof. What do you make of that?
Well, I mean, of course, the imperialist forces are always going to make those accusations. They've been making them since day one. I recall in 2009 some of the attacks made by the Western media against Ahmadinejad, claiming that he was only 2 or 3 months or 6 months away from having weapons-grade uranium that would be used on various peoples that the U.S. Particularly felt it would be good to claim Iran would attack. And I mean, how many times can you cry wolf before the international community essentially just comes forward and stops listening to their accusations? I mean, Iran has as much right to develop an ability to defend itself as anybody else does. I mean, it's frankly, it's very much the narrative of the Western media to simply portray Iran as some kind of aggressor when their forces have remained within their own borders, except when they have been invited, particularly with the cooperation that is carried out in Syria right now. So the international community, which is usually the imperialist countries, really have no right to be making these kinds of accusations against Iran that they're going to become an aggressive, they're going to start attacking their neighbors, especially when this accusation is coming from countries who frequently attack other countries around the world. This almost seems like maybe a manifestation of fear on their part that maybe someday one of the countries that they trample on so openly and plainly may one day be able to defend themselves, maybe one day be able to truly stand up against the in many cases, atrocities, in this case, injustices that have been committed against a lot of other countries. So I think this achievement here is very certainly significant along these lines, as it does provide, not only an advancement in technology inside of Iran, but an advancement in the face of the world. This makes Iran look special. This is a great day for national dignity for the people of Iran as well.
Jason, obviously all of this comes in the context of the fact that Iran has signed the JCPOA, the nuclear deal, but it says very clearly that the likes of the United States are not following their end of the bargain. What do you make of that, all of that? Because we just heard Dr. Saleh, the head of the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran, saying that, listen, we're going to stay committed to this, to our end of the bargain, as long as other parties remain committed to their end of the bargain.
Well, it's a situation where an honest man can only continue to claim to be honest by continuing to be honest. And this is what Iran has done. They have abided by the agreements. They have done what is expected of them. They have not violated the treaty. They have acted entirely within good faith and has done what they are supposed to do. Meanwhile, the United States is dead set on doing the opposite. They create a set of rules that the people who have signed onto this agreement are supposed to follow, yet they themselves feel that they are exempt from this, and yet they would point fingers at others and claiming they have done wrongdoing when it is very clearly the United States itself. I mean, this is a complete and utter hypocrisy coming out of the United States. But this is something that we've come to understand from them. This is something that we've come to expect. I mean, how many deals, how many treaties have been signed in various situations that simply just have not been lived up to. I mean, I'm fairly certain that many of the people who signed on to this treaty knew that the United States probably wasn't going to live up to them. But when you do sign an agreement, a man with honor will live up to that agreement. He did agree to do it, and he did agree to carry it out in this situation.
Jason, I do apologize. I'm going to cut you off there. We're just going to go live to the inauguration of certain of those nuclear